From the Middle is proud to be a founding member of Odd Pods Media. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 311 of From the Middle. We are two middle class guys, middle chapters of our lives, point of view somewhere in the middle. It is Kory and myself. My name is Kendall. Hi, how are you? And we talk about things that Kory and I talk about, which it turns out is very similar to things that Dylan and I talk about. We're talking about smoking meats, and we're talking about Halloween-ish snacks and sports. The World Series is going on, and it's one for the history books. Also for the history books is the most awful NFL uniform we've ever seen. After the break, Kory catches us up on a magical trip that he took with his lovely wife. Kendall catches us up with a magical experience that he had with his wife where pew-pews are involved. It's probably not what you're thinking. Probably shouldn't have made that joke either. Love ya. Bye.
Oh, for the love.
Sorry, just clearing my Mountain Dew hole.
I got my phone hole cleaned today.
That's where you keep it? You're so cerebral and you're so developed and evolved.
From the Middle after dark over here.
What's
Kendall,
up, buddy?
I can't remember the last time when it was just the two of us recording.
It's been a while. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not excited about the reasons why. Dylan's got some sickness in his home, and so he is being very chivalrous, which is on brand for him, taking care of his girls. So he won't be joining us tonight, but that gives us the floor to talk about whatever we want to talk about. And if you and Dylan's common connection is food and let's see, what other things? Oh, college football, other sports.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what you and I's is.
What we come up with. Well, all right. So we can just get right into a couple of updates because I have a couple things that we could get to. But we'll start with this. Oh, you're eating the. How do you? See, apparently you've had that in your house all this time. And am I right about that? Like, Cher's like, yeah, I.
He's like, I put that together every year in a little glass pumpkin.
You didn't know. So now that you're thinking about it, what do you think? He's, for those of you who are only listening and you're super confused, it's the candy corn and peanuts mix that he's going. Oh, you've got the Spanish peanuts in there.
No, these are Kroger dry roasted with sea salt.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt, first of all, but
You're good.
I had to show you and do the old like eating my popcorn in the comments thing while you started talking. But yes, she's made it every year. I guess I just didn't know where the bowl was in the house, but you guys were talking about it a couple episodes ago. We did our snacks episode last week, and I was like, babe, we got to get the peanuts and candy corn. So here we go.
Awesome, man. So are you thinking payday when you eat that? Or like, this is like,
I am thinking payday. I had a payday. I got a payday at checkout at Kroger when we picked up the peanuts and candy corns so that I could compare. It is so close. You're right.
Yeah, very close. Very, very close. That makes me happy. What also makes me happy is I took my first small step. I'm not going to get deep into it, but I'm going to dabble with smoking a giant piece of meat.
Okay.
And
I thought you meant like cigars or pipes.
No, I've done that. So big shout out to Jonathan Lathrop, grabbing him the brisket.
Yeah.
I was texting him. He was kind of holding my hand throughout the day during the cook. I'm sure that I annoyed the crap out of you, John, but I very much appreciate it. I was probably more nervous than I had to be, even though I felt like I was well researched and stuff. But you get into something that like you feel like is over your head, something that you've never done before, and you spend a bunch of money on a giant pork butt. Not a bunch of money. I got a family discount. It was actually my sister's big. But Which I mean is cool that I paid for it because it's like they have a little business going on there.
That's awesome.
Um, but yeah, so it all started with I think a while ago I might have mentioned it that like I'd be interested in trying to make my own um some of my own lunch meats and specifically uh things like corned beef um or pastrami even most specifically, and pastrami is smoked, but there's other like there's also a brining period and you have to get that right, and then you have to smoke it, and then you boil it after you smoke it. It's this whole process with pastrami, and I'm like, well, there's like a big portion of that that I've never done before, which is the smoking process, and I'm not even going to bother spending the money on a brisket and attempting pastrami if I don't even know how to smoke anything. I've never done it before. And so then I was like, so I got to be able to smoke a brisket. And then the more I learned about smoking a brisket, the more I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't try smoking a brisket until I can smoke a pork butt.
Fair.
And so, because I hear that it's far more forgiving, and I believe that now. Um, and all I have, I'm a big fan. I'm a fanboy of Weber kettle grills. I actually have two of them on the back deck right now because my wife found one. Which thank you, Amy. I know that I like kind of poo pooed the idea of picking up someone else's trash and then like me restoring it on a Saturday. But it's great. The only thing better, if people ever were to ask me if you had extra room on your deck with your Weber kettle, would you want to add a Traeger? Would you want to add a Blackstone? What would you want to do? My answer, honestly, is I'd rather have a second Weber kettle grill.
Look at you now. You've arrived. Who's feeling fancy?
Yeah. So smoked a pork butt on a Weber kettle, and it ended up okay. I know that I can do better, and I know that there were mistakes made.
Okay, for attempt number one.
But it was still good. We ate it all, and it was an 8-pound butt. Took a few days to get through it all. Had sandwiches the first day. Then I made smoked barbecue nachos the second day, and then just kind of like filled in with lunches and stuff until it was gone.
Good for you, man. I'm so proud of you for trying. And thanks, John, for the help. That's awesome. We love you over there at Grab 'em in the Brisket. I know what you mean, though, about the investment. You want to get it right for that reason. You also want to get it right because, like, meat doesn't feel like something you want to mess around with.
Sure.
Yeah. I have hunting buddies who have tried their own jerky, and it can go really badly.
It really can.
If you're not even just like the meat like spoiling, but like hair in it and it tasting really badly. And it's an art. I have more and more appreciation for what the Grab 'em in the Brisket guys do. Knowing how much goes into it. And our, friend Jerry would spend a lot of time doing stuff on his trigger and like really want to be really thoughtful about that. And I know that that's like a whole, any one method of cooking has its own subculture, but like that culture in general up one level, like there's guys go hard for that stuff.
They really do. And I have
learning.
Newfound appreciate. I always knew that there was a certain amount of work involved, but I have a newfound appreciation for specifically like the Grab and the Brisket guys who are like, I mean, they're stoking fires, right? They're burning logs, and that's a whole nother world. Now they're not pretentious about it, but I've seen YouTube videos of guys who are pretentious about like the guys who have a Traeger, right? And then there is a community out there of snobbery who kind of, it's like, get your Traegers out of here. You're not a pit master. Like that's a computer and you push a couple buttons. But I like trying to manage a Weber grill, especially with like the method that like everybody uses with the Weber grills, it's a far cry from what they're doing with a separate firebox, right? And smoking through a chamber. So I wasn't even doing what they were doing. And like, I was stressed out about it.
Yeah.
And like trying to stay on top of it and trying to figure out things when it got too hot and too cold, choked it down too much and things like that.
You're getting right where I was going to go next, which is biggest learnings, biggest takeaways.
Biggest takeaway is the setup, the initial setup so I did if people are familiar, the snake method. So basically you just pile up charcoal along the outside of the grill in a circle. So it kind of slow burns around in a circle over the course of a long
Yeah.
time. Um, so I did that, and I saw a couple of guys who like were super neat and tidy about how they placed the charcoals and actually like counted them out. And then others that just kind of like dumped it around in a circle. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to do the dump it around in a circle and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I think that made it far more difficult to control. And even at the end of the cook, Jonathan had said that like it probably would have gone better to be more neat about the setup. So setup is huge. One of the biggest things that he gave me was forget about temperature. Obviously, you want your meat to get up to temperature, but you cook it for that long, it's going to get up to that temperature. Don't worry about that as much as you're worried about texture. Like that's what you want. You want tender, right? And so, just the basic stages, he put it so simply that like that initial smoke period of several hours, however long it takes, you're looking for a certain amount of bark to form. Once it's where you want it, that's when you wrap it. It doesn't matter what temperature it is when you wrap it. What matters is, does the bark look like what you want it to look like?
Yeah.
And then hopefully you did it slow enough that also correlates, I think, with the amount of smoke flavor that you have in the meat.
Yeah.
Which it'll still pick up some after you wrap it, but not obviously nearly as much, if at all. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's where now I'm starting to get over my head on explaining things already.
No, it's good. I love some context.
So that helped to simplify for me. So knowing those things before the cook and during the cook was huge. And I'm absolutely sure I would have screwed it up at the end. I would have pulled it off way too soon. I still think I pulled it off a little soon. And then the initial setup, I think, would have made it so that I didn't have to be so worried about where the temperature was, because it was fluctuating quite a bit throughout the day. I couldn't find just the right spot on where to have the vents. So I was constantly adjusting that. But other than that, I was happy. I was happy with it. It was an edible thing at the end. It was good, not great. I've paid for worse, but most of what I've had has been better. That's kind of where it sat.
I will love to hear at the end of this once, because I know a couple things about you. You love your research. Once you research, you do things according to that research and try to be pretty buttoned up and buy the book, and you're open to advice and input, as you've demonstrated by reaching out to John. So you'll do that. It'll become like a little craft for you. I'm interested, once you've gotten a little more in a good rhythm and you're cranking out smoked meats that you're enjoying, is the overall juice, pun intended, worth the squeeze? Does it feel like, because like you could talk about women and their love of sourdough, or not just women, there are others who make sourdough. Sorry.
I mean, I didn't have a sourdough phase, but I spent a lot of time developing a white sandwich bread.
Yeah, like what my wife is doing lately with sourdough is like if you did a Google image search of like a perfect sourdough loaf ball, what do they call the thing with the little scoring on top? Like it looks like that. Like she's doing biscuits, and it's loving it. Sliced. She's even gotten, at Amazon, you can get the brown bags with the clear top and a little sticker to seal it up to take to neighbors.
Yeah.
Like she's doing, it's awesome.
That's great.
Bread is like my favorite. But anyway, for her, all that work, all that research, all the love that we have for it, the excitement in our neighbors' faces when they see her carry over this perfect little sourdough loaf is all worth it for her.
I love it. I love it.
And so I wonder if you're going to get to that point where you're just like, you become, oh yeah, Kendall's the meat smoking guy in the neighborhood. He has people over for games, and we're in the heart of fall, so it's college football season and spooky season, and it's like Kendall smoking meats. Let's go over.
It could turn into this whole thing. I start putting some outdoor TVs on the deck.
You've already got the basketball court.
Yeah.
Let's go. So that's exciting. Keep at it.
I've got some of you and me. Amy is listening to this right now, cringing things. Oh, you're totally right. He could totally run with this, and it's gonna
Yep,
happen.
that is what will happen. I love it. I also owe you an apology, by the way, before we go any further. So, a couple episodes ago, you were talking about the pride that you had in your kids and some things that they were doing. And when I heard myself tell the next story about Chloe, it sounded like the one-upsmanship thing, and it was purely just a like, oh, he reminded me
Yeah,
about how proud I am of Chloe's accomplishment last week, and we're at the end of the season. I would be remiss if I didn't brag on her for a second. And then I was like, oh, that sounded like I was doing the whole, well, your kid did this. Well, let me tell you what my kid did, which
yeah.
I freaking hate. And I knew bringing it up now live would get the reaction that it just now got. But this is my overthinking
Yeah.
brain.
Well, you were right. That is exactly how I took that. How dare you?
Oh, man.
And yeah, and now you're taking my snack.
Anyway, we are in the heart of spooky season. Um,
Yeah.
as of recording this, we are just days away from Halloween. Do you have any fun plans? Are you doing a costume this year?
I'm not doing a costume this year. Well, I did the stupid dad thing where you come up with a costume that's not a costume just in case people ask you.
Yeah.
Um, this year we did do a trunk or treat for the school, and then Amy did take the kids to Gehenna does this big goblin festival thing, which apparently is really cool. They've been twice. I've not been to it yet. She took two of our kids. One of them wasn't interested, which was really fun. And they wore costumes. Joel bought an inflatable cowboy riding a chicken kind of costume,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing, which is really cool. And he wore that to the trunk or treat. And that was enough for him to say, this is super annoying to get around and I don't want to do this anymore. And so
Yeah.
he ended up giving it away at like the next day. And he's going to be, he was a like literally those two things were on the same day. And the trunk or treat was first. After the trunk or treat, like it was done. We're getting rid of it. I already have like a Aiden Hutchinson jersey, Lions jersey, and Isaac has gray baseball pants. It's a perfect.
Yeah.
I already have a football costume. And so he was the football player later in the evening. And that's what he's going to stick with for actual trick or treat night. Isaac is Shohei Ohtani.
Nice.
And Lydia is Taylor Swift. And I am Taylor Swift's bodyguard.
Nice.
So that's my costume.
Very adorable. Ohtani playing as we speak.
Indeed,
game 3, game 4.
Game 4.
Game 4.
And Ohtani had, if you're not paying attention to the World Series and you don't know who Ohtani is,
Beast.
Not only a beast, we're literally talking like when people start talking about best baseball players of all time, right? You hear like people start throwing out old guys, Al Kaline and Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron and Jackie Robinson. Shohei Ohtani is in the same conversation as those guys. He might be on top of that conversation as those guys. This is not a one in a generation thing. This could be an of all time thing. And for folks who aren't in the baseball and you're wondering what the deal is with Shohei Ohtani, that's what the deal is.
Yeah.
Like we're watching more than just a once in a lifetime situation here with this guy. He pitches and he hits, which is crazy. He's one of the best pitchers like of the generation. He's one of the best hitters of the generation and is like breaking records at both things. We have a guy who's like could potentially be a Cy Young Award winner and has won a home run derby. It's insane what the guy does.
Look
He's
at us
nuts.
talking sports and
Yeah.
and look at me knowing just enough to be dangerous. But I've been keeping a loose eye. Cher's watched a little more of actual game time as I have. He's all over my algorithm too. Somebody was filming him at batting practice the other night and had their phone just outside of the net for BP.
Mhm.
Just the sound of him hitting baseballs is even like a sound I haven't heard before, having been a fan of baseball since I was a kid.
Mm.
Like he hits the ball with such velocity. It's wild. And then last night's game going into the morning hours, East Coast time, 18 innings, right?
Yeah.
Fun fact that I think is true. The last time a World Series game went into 18 innings, it's only happened one other time. Brad Paisley sang the national anthem for that game too. So it's like if Brad Paisley's singing the national anthem, it's going to be a long game.
Yeah. And it was the Dodgers.
Yeah,
And it wasn't that long ago.
right.
Like that's it was, what, 2008, 2009, something like that.
So I was in Calgary, just outside of Calgary last week, with a bunch of Canadians, and they were all about the Blue Jays because that's their only.
Yeah, I mean they're a national. They've got a country pulling for them.
Yeah. Even though there was a Calgary Stampede game on that night in the CFL, there was a Calgary Flames game on that night, and the Toronto Raptors were playing baseball. They had their phones out on the tables watching the World Series. So that was
I
pretty
love to hear
fun.
it.
That was pretty fun to be around them while that was going on. But yeah, this dude's wild. And what I loved is I think ESPN shared they were in the locker room after last night's game. And the coach was like doing a little bit of a speech. And he's like, all right, guys, we got to get home. We got a game today. And Otani is like warming up. He's just like really playful and fun with his teammates. And he's like
Mhm.
warming up pitching, like ready to go, ready to get at another game.
Yeah,
That was just really cool.
yeah. I mean, he had a heck of a game. He had another game for the record books in that 18 inning game. Like before we got into extra innings, he became one of now only two players in World Series history, which goes back a long, long, forever time, and who has had four multiple base hits in one game, in one World Series game. He went home run, double, double, home run. And then after that, he didn't get a technical at bat after that. He got walked every time, intentionally walked after that, until the game was over. But so he has that kind of performance. And with all those walks, that means he's doing base running every time he's on. And then now he's started pitching.
And he's like 6'3", 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, he's a tall one. I forget
Uh,
exactly how tall he is, but he's a tall one.
yeah. So he's fun to watch. It's been a fun series. And yeah, your Lions are doing good too.
They are.
That's,
They
that's
are.
good stuff.
Hey, the Packers picked off the Steelers.
Can we talk about how ugly those Steelers unis were?
They were the I literally laughed at my wife like when I saw them. I'm like, these are I normally really love the throwback jerseys. Those were the dumbest uniforms I have ever seen. They were horrible.
If you're not into sports, I'm going to now share. Looked like the white guys weren't wearing pants. Um, yeah,
Or they just all looked like white guys
yeah.
from a distance.
Even in this like sizzle or like real photo that's supposed to make it look real cool, it still looks like garbage.
It is terrible. Tan pants shouldn't exist in any sport except maybe like polo.
Yeah, that's
But yeah, I mean, yellow on yellow on yellow on tan is a terrible look.
yeah. I don't think there's anything you can do to make that look cool, but that's probably about as close as it gets, and that's only
Yeah.
because you have a blacked out visor.
I mean, black pants is the answer, right? Oh, that's all you had to do, and it would have instantly been a lot better.
I can't figure out the weird V that goes to the shoulders only, like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my guess is it was just one of those things. Like the winged helmet for Michigan was just
Yeah,
a design to differentiate wide receivers, so the quarterback could pick them out easier.
Yeah.
It was probably just something like that back in the day. They had something similar to that. They just looked like prisoners.
So your kids' costumes sound fun. I'm excited for you. That is going to be really good. We are going to be hosting typically we do like a big thing out on our driveway, as is common for suburban families. Do a little fire pit out there. I usually do a cocktail for the neighbors, the immediate neighbors. I can't be serving everybody. Uh, uh, they can come to the garage fridge, but they're not all getting cocktails of the night. I am doing a costume for the first time in many years,
Oh yeah.
and I'm very excited. I am going to go as one of the pink guards from Squid Game with the shape masks,
Very cool.
but I'm going as one who was given a uniform one size too small. Uh, After the fact of having mine delivered, and determining, I got a good
Hmm.
laugh out of Sherry putting it on. I look like a sausage in casing. It's gonna be comical, but we're just gonna go with it.
Pink is a wonderful color for that.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. I'm excited about that, but I haven't
That's
done that in a
cool.
minute. Yeah, I even modified the costume a bit. Got my Adam Savage on because I thought the square icon on the
Hmm.
mask was too small to scale of the mask. So I painted it bat black and then repainted the square white. I got a more proper belt, one that actually fits. I got one of my son's toy guns with an orange cap. Uh, so yeah, it's gonna be good. We'll try to upload some photos if it'll pass Facebook's.
Absolutely. We'll blur out whatever we need to blur out.
There might be some things in places. He was a large, bulging man. Scare all the kids away. So anyway, that'll be fun. Really looking forward to that. Lily and her boyfriend are coming home.
Oh, that'll be great for him to see.
So anyway, friends, what are you, Middlers? What are you going to do for Halloween? Any fun plans? Any fun costumes? I saw somebody on my algorithm today went to their local Kroger and bought the big inflatable numbers that you see at birthday parties, a 6 and a 7.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that can stop anytime
good.
soon.
I'm sure every generation had kids during their time that had annoying phrases and things, but
Oh,
this
absolutely.
we all did. This one feels especially annoying. But maybe we're just the old guys now, and
I
that's
think that's what it is. We're
how it's
just the
supposed
old
to
guys
go.
now. I mean, you can't count to 8 without like a tween going 6, 7.
Ugh.
So
I almost
the
tried to throw
key,
one in earlier when you were talking about giving away the cowboy on a chicken costume. I said, give it away. He could have got $6, $7 out of that. Um,
you know, a good way to, and we've known this now, I think, to break your kids of a habit like that
start
is
doing it.
to start doing it and start doing it publicly. I think is a big piece of it. So we did a walkathon fundraiser with the elementary school, and basically it's just the kids, different grade levels at different times. They take shifts and they just walk around the building for the whole school day. And during your kid classes shift, you can come and you can join them or just like stand at the finish line and cheer them on as they do their laps. And so like I went and I joined, and I think it was Isaac was first. And like when we started to get toward the finish line on the first lap that I did with him, where like all of the other parents and stuff who aren't walking with their kids are all congregated. Um, I was like, how about we run through the parents? I'm a large man, right? I know what this looks like. And so I did it. And he didn't like that so much, but he was relatively okay with it. He's a little harder to get than others.
Yeah.
But then I started incorporating as we got toward the finish line, doing the 6-7 Selly dance.
Yeah. Oh, so cringe, Dad.
That
Cringe.
got him. Yeah, that was fun. That was a good time. Speaking of a good time, guys, we've had so much fun with this one talking about baseball and food. This is Kory. Our episode is very similar. Maybe it's me. Um, we're gonna hear from some of the Odd Pods Network people.
Yeah, because they're fun too.
Hey there, I'm Dave, the host of Beer in Front Sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet. I'll talk about some old school beers that maybe you've forgotten about, some new beers that have the potential to be a classic. I'll also talk to various people around the beer world and get their stories all about beer. That's Beer in Front, and it's available on all of your favorite podcast apps.
If you like fun, then you're going to love the Beard Owl podcast. It's a podcast where we talk about two of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al. And frankly, we talk more about Weird Al than anything because he's the gift that keeps on giving. So join us as we talk through Weird Al's career, what he means to us, and we have some very special guests on to discuss the magic that is Alfred Matthew Yankovic. Weird Al, part of the Odd Pods Media Network.
So Kory, you're back from Banff.
Yeah, man. I got to go to Banff again. If you have been listening to us for at least a year, you know that Sherry and I got this opportunity last year. One of my clients has a connection to this conference that I had heard about called The Gathering in Banff. It used to be called the Cult Gathering. They decided to drop the first bit, which I think is probably
That's wise.
sound decision. Essentially, it is a brand and marketing conference where, and I might be butchering how this basically got started. It's a pretty clever idea. It started with an ad agency in Calgary that sent awards to their favorite brands and said, "Congratulations, we've chosen you as a winner in our brand festival, and we would like to honor you with an award at our gala. You should send one of your brand leaders, marketing leaders, to come and speak. They don't pay the speakers, and then we will present you with an award." They did that to enough large companies, and we're talking now Dove, Gatorade, Fender, the NFL, Harley Davidson, big brands, that now enough people agreed to send a speaker that now you can sell that as, "Hey, everyone, come to this gathering where there's going to be all these speakers from very large and well-respected brands." And so they've turned it into this sort of 3-day event of main stage talks, similar to like TED Talks. You can also do more intimate, 10 or so people per room conversations with these leaders where you have to check your phones in a locked box when you come in. So it's like they can really share unscripted and not worry that somebody's going to record it and put it online. Not that there's anything weird or shady going on. They just are able to be a little more authentic about either their own personal story or things going on behind the curtain of their company. And there's lots of use cases and inspiration and motivation. And then in the evening times, there's comedy shows, and you could get up on the big, not pergola, the gondola ride up to the top of the mountains. You can do like a cocktail reception and just network and schmooze. And it is I've been fortunate to do a lot of travel with really large companies and stuff. This is one of the best produced events I've ever been to. The stage layout, the AV production, the banners, and it's just so first class and so well done for an audiences of, I'm gonna guess, in the main stage at any given time, there's, Sherry guessed 500 people in a big ballroom. So it still feels, for the production quality that high, it still feels like a really cool event. This year, Dude Perfect was there. 2 out of the 5 guys from Dude Perfect, Kory and Kobe, the twins. And Dove, like I said, the chief marketing officer from Fender, you would have really enjoyed his talk. Just really cool. And so last year I went, but I was working for Amazon at the time. Now I went as a freelancer and got to schmooze a little bit more and talk a little bit about more of what I'm trying to do as a freelance graphic facilitator and how it may or may not help some of these other companies. So It was so much fun. We did that for 2 or 3 days and then took one day of just exploring around Banff. And our favorite spot there is Lake Louise. Um, Without being exaggerating or being hyperbolic, I think Banff and the surrounding area is some of the most beautiful creation I have ever seen. It is just stunning. Uh, the Rocky Mountains in the US are gorgeous if you've ever been. I learned that they're more rounded here in the US, but they are higher in elevation.
Okay.
And the peaks to the land that you're on when you're viewing them is shallower in height
And relativity.
and relativity.
Yeah.
In Banff, they're very jagged, even though altitude speaking, they are lower than the US Rockies. But the ground that you're on when viewing them is far greater. So they're
Yeah.
more jagged and they look a lot higher, even though comparatively they are shorter than the US Rockies.
Yeah. It gives you more of a fairy tale majestic
Yeah.
vibe.
Exactly. I mean, they look like there's even the kind where they almost look like they're overhangs and like protrusions and super jagged, snow covered. Just and then these lakes that are like Caribbean turquoisey waters. So it was just really fun.
Beautiful.
Love the time with Sherry. Love the time at the conference. I got to hear some talks this year that were truly inspirational, and we don't really ever get like super serious or like hyper educational on
Yeah.
this. There are times when I think it would be really fun to do some deep dives in some of these things, but I'll just share one or two things. One of the speakers is a guy named Michael Gervais, who is a performance psychologist. He has worked with some of the world's foremost athletes in the mental part of their sport and overcoming mind over matter. And the best example of this is when he worked with the guy that Red Bull sponsored, I guess, to do the dive from like space, like just below.
Oh, that guy.
I'm blanking on his name right now. He is
Yeah,
now
I don't know his name, but
now passed away, which is super sad. Not because of this, as a separate.
right. No, he survived that.
He survived that, but like they called in this guy, Michael Gervais, to like get him ready for the event because he was claustrophobic, and he had to be in this suit to go from, I forget what they call the fringe of space, but like from there, a free fall down to Earth.
Yeah.
And so NASA and like the greatest minds in space exploration and space travel were like, hey, Michael, we need you to come in. One, he's claustrophobic, and we need you to help him get over that fear. Two, we've crunched the numbers, and best we can tell, his head and his core will be fine on the fall. We are concerned, however, that the amount of drag caused by his arms and legs might rip them off. We're not sure.
There's only one way to find out.
Dude, this is what he said. So you're just learning from this guy. And I mean, the stuff, like even how he started his talk of like how we are descendant of humans whose mind is meant to like look for fear, but we aren't designed to like look for positive things. And he talked about optimism and why you need to be optimistic. And like, it's a good thing. It keeps us safe, but like it can be a dangerous thing. And like, if you let that go too far. And he was fascinating. And one of the things he said was, I've never met a world's best anything athlete profession who wasn't fundamentally optimistic. And I was just like, dang, when you consider the people that he's worked with. The other person I got to hear from is a woman named Claude Silver. Claude is the chief heart officer. Yes, that's her actual title given to her by Gary Vaynerchuk. If you know anything about Gary V, he's a big entrepreneur, speaker, author, like dude. And he gave her that role. She doesn't like the term HR. She calls it people and engagement. And she is like a big proponent of bringing your whole self to work. She went through this, but like basically her premise is that right now in the working world, we've got 5 generations of people all smushed together, and the old forms of sort of fear and punishment corporate culture aren't working. And it's hard to sell the idea to millennials and below, hey, come sell your soul to this corporation. We're going to work you to death, and you're going to be stressed and anxious and
Yeah.
like playing the whole game. And so her whole thing is about bringing your whole self to work. She just wrote a book, Bring Yourself to Work. Um, and it's so cool to be able to go up to Kory and Kobe and go up to this guy, Michael, and go up to her at the end and shake their hand, thank them for speaking, and then ask them a few questions. So, just a really cool environment. They had a DJ like the whole time. So every single time a speaker walks off stage, there's a DJ playing mashups that you never thought would ever go together. That was just fun. They did a big gala. Is it gala, or gala?
Gala, I think is what I've heard most often.
Like a black tie, business formal or tux event. Really nice steak dinner on the last night. So super, super fun. Very blessed and fortunate to be able to get to go again. Probably won't be able to go next year unless I'm able to sort of convince the agency that puts it on that they should bring me back. I have an idea that I want to pitch to them that I think could be really cool, and I'll just be like, "Hey, you don't have to pay me. Just give me a ticket again, so I can come out." Doesn't hurt that it's at the Fairmont Banff Springs, which is pretty sweet. It's in an old castle. That was like the old Canadian Pacific Railways, like main castle at the turn of the century. So that's where you stay when you go out there. Just super cool. So really fun, learned a ton, got to hang out with some Canadians because most of the attendees come from the surrounding Calgary area, even though the speakers are coming in from all over the world. But yeah, is a really, really good time. And if anybody has anything to do with branding, marketing, at all in any capacity, even if that is relegated to you as an entrepreneur or your own small business, I cannot recommend it enough. Go out to the gathering in Banff 2026. I hope to see you there.
That is beautiful.
Have you ever been to the Canadian Rockies?
No, man. I've been to Canada exactly twice and not very far. Once was just to kind of say we did it as a family from Detroit, which is one of the few, if not the only place that you can travel. You travel south to get to Canada.
Isn't that Ontario up there?
Think so? Yeah, I think so. The city is Windsor.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then Niagara Falls. Went to the Canada side of Niagara Falls. But that's been it. And that was before you needed a passport to do those things.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, it was a good time. We on the flight out, Sherry looked and the price to bump up to first class was not crazy.
Nice.
So we did that.
Very cool.
I was like taking everything they offered. Would you like a hot towel, sir? Yes. Would you like a cup of nuts, sir? Yes. Would you like would you like champagne
before that bumped up because it was cheap, right?
Champagne before takeoff. Like the people saying no, I'm like, what are you people doing? Oh, act like you've been here, Kory.
Or not. Like I mean, they asked me if I want, and the answer is yes, I want. Like that's
they gave a meal and then they're like, would you like a raspberry sorbet to finish off? And I was like, yes. I just like everything.
Yes, that gets me closest to what I'm used to at home with my normal routine. Yes, please. I will take a raspberry sorbet.
That was fun. Made the trip on the way back a little harder because it was full and we did not bump up to first class. Funny story. So one of the other speakers, a guy named John Gordon, this guy has worked with the LA Dodgers. He's been their motivational speaker and coach, as well as a bunch of other professional and collegiate level teams. He too was talking on the theme of positivity. And one of the stories he told was that years ago, when his family was traveling for pleasure, they had a very tight connection. And when they got to their connecting gate, boarding had closed and the plane was backing away from the jet bridge. And so he and his family stood against the glass and just started waving to the pilots to try to get their attention. And it makes no sense how or why this happened, but for some reason that plane had to come back to the gate anyway.
Okay.
And when they did that, they're like, we can go ahead and take these other people.
Wow.
So Sherry and I are leaving Calgary for Chicago. We're late leaving Calgary. We get into Chicago. It's like, hey, good news, folks. We made up some time, even though we were running late. The bad news is your gate is, there's still a plane at our gate because we're too early. So Sherry and I have just come from this conference. We're like starting to freak out a little bit. Like the time is getting crunched. People in front of us are like, they make the announcement, hey folks, some of the people on this flight have very tight connections. If you don't have a flight leaving before 7 p.m., if you could kindly let people off first, that would be very helpful. That assumes anybody's going to actually do it. It's very nice of them to make the announcement, but the minute the bing goes off, everybody's unbuckling and going just the same. So well intended, but often never works. This is what happened for us. We are boarding. Our flight is boarding at the time we're trying to deplane, and we've got to go a few gates over. We're not running, but we're speed walking through the Chicago airport to try to get to L6A. We get there and boarding is closed, even though the jet bridge door is still open. I was always told that if that door is open, there's still a chance.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to scan my phone on the thing, even though the screen says boarding closed. And the kid goes, sorry, sir, it's too late. The flight's closed. And I go, yeah, but the door's still open. He goes, sorry, nothing I can do. I go, I understand, but like, why is the door to the plane was still open and the door to the jet bridge was still open. I could see. And he's like, sorry, sir, nothing I could do. And I was like, have you even tried? Can you page the pilots? He's like, sorry, sir, nothing I can do. I might just be projecting, but I felt like he had a sick sense of enjoyment telling me there was nothing he could do.
Yeah.
By the way he looked at me, he just straight faced, sorry, sir, nothing I can do. So Sherry and I go over to the glass. We turn the flashlights on our phone toward the pilots and start doing big waving motions because we just learned from John Gordon that it worked for him and his family. We do this. Sherry's like, no. What she doesn't know is that we can probably just get on the next flight. I've traveled enough that I know that there's probably going to be more flights from Chicago to Columbus, but she's thinking we're going to have to rent a car and drive home.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just doing this. She's near tears. Another couple behind us is also needing to get on this flight to Columbus. They start waving their phone lights.
Yeah.
A guy comes over to my left. He goes, guys, they're not going to let you on the plane. I said, well, we're naive enough to believe. So I just keep doing this. The ground crew, they start waving. The ground crew is like in on it. Then I start doing heart shapes with my phone.
Yeah.
And then they're doing this like with their hands like heart. And I can see them like trying to like gesture to the pilots. It didn't work.
Dang it, Kory.
But we tried.
I love the story, man. It just didn't. You need to change the ending.
We just got on the next flight. I was very, very ticked off. I was just frustrated at the kid, at the gate agent. It was like he didn't even make an effort. That's what I was mad about. I wasn't mad that we missed the flight. I wasn't really mad that we were going to be 2 hours later. In fact, it just freed us up to grab a bite before we got on the next plane. So
there you go.
In the grand scheme of life, I knew it didn't matter, but it was just for a second, I believed in that kid.
Yeah.
So, other than that, trip was wonderful and had a really good time and some good photos to prove it.
Yeah. Dude, that's fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of awesome and supportive wives and doing things with them, I told you guys before about how Amy went to a shooting range for the first time with me on my birthday this year, which, kind of opened up that door for me to sort of like to get back into shooting and things. And it's been such a great experience. The Bullet Ranch is the name of the range where I go and I'm now a member of. And I was there today. And I learned eventually, they do this thing every year. That's like the Bullet Ranch birthday bash, which you think would just be like, hey, we've got, Kane's catering and just come over and like use the range or whatever. That's what I assumed this thing was.
Yeah.
And then like Amy starts looking into it. And first of all, it's not at the Bullet Ranch. It's at someplace else. Like, oh, that's a little weird. And then I start looking at the website and this thing is massive. And now after like hearing from the owner talk about how this thing came to be, like it was when he first opened the business, they did it like the first year that they were open.
Yeah.
And it was at the Bullet Ranch and it was just kind of a party. And he thought, wouldn't it be fun? And he kind of like got together like some vendors to like, they gave away like 25 guns as part of a raffle.
Yeah.
And you had to buy. And it's just people at this point, just friends and supporters of this business, right? A small group of people. And it's like, I don't know how much money we're going to get, but tell you what, we're going to give it all to this charity over here. And so that was like 12 years ago to today, where it has for years now, it well outgrew the property that they have at their shooting range. And now it's at this like giant barn style facility, which is like just a huge, big empty space. They've got a stage set up and live music. And the main raffle, which is the one that the Bullet Ranch sponsors, they had like over 100 guns that they're raffling off. And then there's other vendors. So like in the whole big thing was we're raising money for the Purple Heart Foundation, which is such a great cause.
Yeah, for sure.
And they let a couple like travel softball teams and a travel baseball team like get in on the action, and they kind of had their own raffles and things going. They're not giving away guns. But like one of them was like a 50-50 raffle, and like there were a couple other things that they had going on for that. And so they were able to kind of coattail on the thing, which is really cool. And then, but the Bullet Ranch themselves had like 2 different raffles going on at the same time. It was such an amazing experience. It was so good and heartwarming. Like I knew the kind of people that were going to be there, and they were the kind of people that I grew up around. And Amy is a city girl, grew up in Cincinnati and things. And so I'm like, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm telling her like, because it's like she's trying to spur this forward, that like she knows that I would like to go to this kind of thing, and she's trying to be supportive. And so it was her idea for us to go. And so we bought tickets, which buys you 1 ticket into the raffle. And so we had 2 tickets into the big main raffle. And then we bought some extra door prize tickets that were other things like chainsaws and grills and like concert tickets and stuff.
Because you need another grill.
Yeah. I didn't enter specifically for the grill, but man, so we went to this thing, beautiful experience, a lot of vets there, a lot of like salt of the earth, like rural folk there. And I love being around these kinds of people. They are just the kindest, sweetest people. They tell you what's on their mind, but they're also just a lot of fun to be around and so hospitable. Like I love these people. And it proved to be a wonderful time. And my first trip in, won a gun.
No way.
Yeah.
A Red Ryder?
a Red Ryder. So
what'd you get?
A Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0, which is it's a full size striker fire.
Nice,
handgun.
man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I've been super jazzed about that whole experience. Thank you again, Amy, for championing that idea for us to go to that thing. She enjoyed herself there as well. It was a really
support
fun time.
Born out of our midlife crisis conversation?
I don't know. I don't know. It might be.
I just want to get into guns. You know what? I'm going to take him to a gun show. That's awesome.
Yeah,
the most fun I've had with a group of guys is at gun ranges, and it's hard to explain because I think people have their idea of what those places are like, And I
Hmm.
would venture to guess most people who have preconceived notions of hunting clubs or shooting ranges or things like that would be surprised at one, the diversity of the crowd. It's not a
Right.
bunch of just white dudes. It's mostly white dudes.
It depends on where you are, right?
It
But
definitely depends on where you are, and people bring in their families or kids or grandchildren or spouses to shoot with them. But there's one up by us that has a really long rifle range
mhm.
where they have, and it's just so cool how they think through every aspect of this. So it's like everybody goes up to the line at once and doesn't start shooting until the range officer says that we're green or we're hot.
Mhm.
And then, you can, before that, you set up your stands with the targets on them, however far down that. But even that, like they've got push pins so that you can put whatever type of target you decided to bring. And then they give the all clear and you go back and retrieve your targets and start up. It's just the smell of gunpowder. It's so fun, socializing. They usually have fun events like that. Like it's really, really good. And for the people like me who, carry, it's like I need to be going there more often than I
Mhm.
probably do to make sure that I'm, on top of my game. And should I ever have to?
Yeah. I've always thought that like when I was in my 20s and 30s and going to bars sometimes with friends and coworkers and stuff, one of the things that I learned to pick out as to whether or not it was a bar that I was truly going to enjoy was like I feel like there is two main, it's a spectrum, but there are two main categories of bars. There's the one where it's just like it's loud music and like a swanky place to be in, which is fun. Like that's a cool place. But one thing that I'm like is a sign of a good bar for me is one that has a grill outside of the back door.
Hmm.
Because that's the place where like one of the bartenders on a Saturday afternoon decided, you know what? I'm going to buy like 10 pounds of ground beef and just cook up some burgers. And whoever comes in that day is going to get a burger if they want
Yep.
one. Like that's like that kind of place.
Yeah.
Gun ranges are also that kind
Yeah.
of place. Like
It's
they
so true.
often are having just like you'll see. Um, oh no.
I'm here.
Oh, good. I didn't know if that was you or me. Um,
Gary brought his Weber and he's going to cook up some chili dogs.
yeah, exactly. Like that, those kinds of things. Like they're
Yeah.
having a couples night, um, on Halloween, which we're not going to go to because we're doing other things. But it's like wear a costume if you want, and where the city barbecue is going to be here. Like that's what it is.
That's so fun. There's a bowling alley in Gahanna over by the city barbecue where there's a bar right next
Yeah,
door.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Dylan used to live in the apartments right there, and that bar was always a good time. They would have like good live music. I remember the food being decent. But yeah, I love those like not local divey spots, but yeah, kind of. You know,
yeah.
that's a good vibe. You don't need speakeasies with $20 cocktails. You just need a
Listen, there's a time for. I think again another area where you and me are alike is that like in Dylan for that matter, like I'm good with that too.
Mhm.
Um, these kinds of places that we're talking about is like if I were to start a bar,
Yeah.
it would be this.
Yep.
It'd be this kind of thing.
Yep. I did explore that speakeasy in the ice cream place that I was telling you guys about. I sent you
Yeah,
guys a video, so
yeah.
we can talk about that another time when Dylan's back on. But we're about at time. This has been a really fun one. We hope you enjoyed. We hope everybody's doing better at the Heath Hubble House. We're the Sunbury Hubbles. Dylan is the Heath Hubbles. So we hope everybody's doing well there. We'll see Dylan next week, I'm sure. But until then, this has been Kendall and Kory. Thank you to Artius Man for your sponsorship. We appreciate it. If you don't know what Artius Man is, shame on you. Do you have a man in your life who has skin? Do you have a man in your life who has facial hair? You should buy him some products over at Artius Man. And how you get there is go to artiusman.com. That's artiusman.com. You'll see all the bevy of products that they have available. Some of my favorites are the soy blend woodwick candles, especially at this time of year. I've got 3 on my desk right now. Got that little crackling sound when you light them. They last a long time. And the scents, they are divine. So go fill your cart with amazing men's grooming products. Some soy blend woodwick candles. And when you get to checkout in the promo code box, use code the middle. That's all one word, the middle at checkout, and you'll get 25% off. Hope you have a great spooky season and a happy Halloween. Be safe. Don't eat candy bars with razor blades in them. And we will see you next week on From the Middle.
Yeah.